This girl one day registers her phone number on this strange website as a joke, then repeatedly asks her to meet up by promising huge of money. Confused, this girl begins to block all the people who send her messages, but one day she boldly decides to go to the place she was told to find out who they are. When she arrives at the place and enters the room she was told about, she encounters something she didn't expect. She finds an elderly man waiting for her in bed. After he approaches her, he tells her that he will give her a lot of money if she makes him happy on the bed. Although she refused for the time, the man finally convinced her and she agrees to sleep with him for the sake of money. After that time, this girl quit school and made this her full-time job, going to places where she was called by message and making men happy in bed and earning a lot of money. One day, she goes to the hotel where she was called as usual, and while making love with her client, suddenly the man has a heart attack and dies in bed. Shocked by this girl makes a big decision. Hello, my dear viewers. Today I bring to you the movie is called Young and Beautiful, which was released in 2013. If you like the movie, please don't forget to like the video. The movie begins in the yard. The family is spotted eating breakfast. When they're done, the family's mother is having a conversation with Isabelle, the oldest child. According to Isabelle's mother, her acquaintance was born in Germany. She encouraged Isabelle to ask her friend Felix to dinner since she thought Felix looked good. Isabelle, though, appeared to reject her mother's plea. Isabelle's younger brother was idle during the day. He strolled about the mansion, peering into each room to see what the other family members were up to. And as he peered through the door of his sister Isabelle's room, Isabelle's younger brother observed her using a cushion to masturbate on her bed by herself. Later on, to commemorate Isabelle's 17th birthday, her family threw a surprise party in the evening since Isabelle found it touching to receive a surprise from her family. Isabelle's family was packing things in the morning to head out of the villa as the holidays were coming to an end. While traveling, Isabelle remained quiet throughout. Fall made her arrival. Isabelle was spotted wearing extremely nice clothing as she made her way towards a building. Isabelle made her way into hotel room 6095. She knocked on the door and was told to come inside by someone within. Isabelle was taken aback to discover an elderly man in the space after entering. Isabelle was met by the elderly guy, who named her Lee. The old guy confessed that he had misled Isabelle about his age when he saw her, and she was merely silent out of shock and perplexity. The elderly man was a client of Isabelle's who placed an online order. It turns out that the elderly man is one of Isabelle's clients. She passes herself off as a hired lady or prostitute while going by Lee. Isabelle is asked whether she wants anything to drink by the elderly man. Isabelle merely requests a drink of water and declines. The elderly man sat down next to Isabelle after offering her a glass of water and remarking that she looked more attractive than in the picture. The elderly man approached Isabelle, inquired about her, and started speaking seductively. Immediately, he seduced Isabelle. At last, they shared a bed. Isabelle rushed out of the hotel as their actions were over. After giving Isabelle some cash, the elderly man asked if they might get together again. Isabelle retorted that the old guy already had her phone number and that she would be happy to speak with him later. Upon reaching her house, Isabelle noticed nothing but her brother Victor studying. She then proceeded to her room and promptly stuffed the cash she had received from her customer into her closet. Victor unexpectedly entered Isabelle's room as she was opening the website in the evening to take orders from her clients. Isabelle instantly shut her laptop and kicked Victor out of her room. Isabelle apparently kept her work a secret from her family. The following day, after class, Isabelle receives another call. This time, Isabelle's client offers to pay 300 euros, and they agree to meet tomorrow at 5 p.m. Shortly after, Isabelle's friend arrives to invite her to lunch. Her buddy inquired whether Isabelle had called her lover because she seen Isabelle's face light up after sending an SMS. Isabelle instantly agreed because she couldn't admit she had responded to a text message from her customer. Isabelle prepared to meet her client the following day. Her brother and her parents were eating supper together when she said farewell to them. Next, Isabelle's mother inquired about Isabelle's expected return date. Isabelle retorted that she was working on a presentation with her pals and that she would be returning home that evening. Isabelle showed showed up at the hotel where she and her client were scheduled to meet. In the hotel lobby, they had a brief conversation. Following their conversation, they proceeded directly to the room that the client had reserved. In any case, they started their enjoyable activities. In contrast to the prior client, this one requested Isabelle to complete the math by herself, after which he only watched it. Isabelle also requested the client's fee after their activities were complete. However, the client provided a fee that was not in line with what was agreed upon. Despite Isabelle's objections, the customer threatened to disclose to her parents that she was a call girl. Isabelle was furious when she left the hotel. Isabelle got another call on the train. This time, the client proposed a €500 charge, which Isabelle accepted right away. This time, she met her client in the client's car before they began their enjoyable activities, rather than at a hotel. Isabelle requested payment in advance right away, fearing a recurrence of the earlier occurrence in which she was charged a fee that did not correspond to the agreed upon amount. The customer accepted and gave Isabelle €500, but there was a catch. At first, Isabelle was hesitant to comply with the requirement, but the client mentioned that he was married. Isabelle eventually gave in, and they started their enjoyable activities in the automobile. After a while, shortly thereafter, Isabelle received a text message from her former customer. When they first met on Wednesday, the old man requested Isabelle to come to the same hotel, and Isabelle readily consented. Isabelle made her way back to the scheduled meeting with her client on Wednesday. In the end, they spent enjoyable moments in the same room for a second time. Isabelle received her payment when their activities were over, but just as she was ready to exit, the elderly man inquired about their potential future meeting. As it turned out, the elderly guy continued to call Isabelle after that day, and they frequently shared beds. In addition to the elderly man, Isabelle began to receive calls from other clients who wanted to hang out with her, and before she realized it, the amount of money she was accumulating was rising daily. One day, as Isabelle and her client were having the elderly guy named Georges abruptly interrupted their conversation. Georges passed away at that very moment due to a heart attack. Isabelle became terrified as soon as she realized this. She did everything she could to get Georges to wake up, but to no avail. She fled the hotel and the room in a panic. When winter arrived, 2 police officers stopped by Mrs. Isabelle's workplace one day to say hello. Mrs. Isabelle was asked by the 2 police officers if Isabelle or Lee was her daughter. Mrs. Isabelle claimed that Lee was her mother's name, but she was perplexed when she heard the 2 cops mention the name Lee. The 2 police officers showed multiple images from the hotel's CCTV that showed Isabelle and George's first encounter. Isabelle was regarded as a witness to the incident, and it appears that the 2 police officers were looking into George's death. Although Isabelle's mother refuted it, the 2 police officers confirmed to her that Isabelle had been living a double life as a call girl for the entire time under the alias Lee. Isabelle's mother was shocked to learn this information. To discover more about Isabelle's covert existence, they also looked through her chamber. Isabelle's mother questioned her right away when she got home. According to her mother, Isabelle had been hiding something from her for a long time. Isabelle attempted to dodge it after hearing this, but her mother intervened swiftly to stop her. Isabelle's mother lost control of her temper and struck Isabelle in an attempt to vent her feelings. As soon as she realized what had happened, she apologized to Isabelle and made an effort to have a gentle conversation with her. That's when Isabelle started crying. The emotions she'd been suppressing for a long time had now surfaced. Isabelle readily agreed when her mother urged her to swear she wouldn't do it again. A while later, Isabelle received a call from the police asking her to testify in George's death case. When the police asked Isabelle to tell them the whole story of how she got into the call girl business, Isabelle did just that. It began while she was out on her own with her companion, and a strange man suddenly walked up to her. After that, the man tried to get Isabelle to ignore him by giving her his phone number, but soon after, Isabelle called the number, met the stranger, and experienced her first taste of fun with him. Isabelle was initially repulsed, but she eventually developed an addiction to it. She then made the decision to work as a call girl after seeing a documentary about a schoolgirl who turned into a call girl in order to get money. But Isabelle made the decision to resign because she was afraid when George passed away. Thankfully, an inquiry revealed that heart disease was the cause of George's death, and Isabelle was eventually allowed to return home. After supper in the evening, Isabelle's mother suggested that she consult a psychologist because she was concerned about psychological issues. Isabelle agreed to heed her mother's suggestion because she didn't want to be troubled. Isabelle's mother took her to the psychologist the following day. There, they talked about Isabelle's circumstances, and the psychologist advised Isabelle to refrain from doing the things that would endanger her in the future. To cut a long tale short, Isabelle's illness reappeared when she got home, and she started to dare to flirt with her stepfather. Thankfully, her mother arrived right away and showed Isabelle to her room. Then, when Isabelle was going through a psychological healing process, her mother made an effort to comprehend her daughter's situation. Despite this, Isabelle remained difficult to talk to. When Isabelle saw her psychologist again a week later, she reported that she felt as though something had been missing from her life, and that she had stopped doing the terrible things. She felt empty inside most of the time, and she had trouble controlling herself at times, like when she seduced her stepfather. The psychologist gave Isabelle encouraging comments and counseled her against going back to the dark road. After some time had gone, Isabelle finally took the risk of using the SIM card that had once brought her such joy because she was perplexed since there was nothing else to do. Her phone started receiving a lot of messages as soon as the SIM card was used. After responding to one of them, she quickly left for the hotel where she usually went when George called. She was approached in the hotel lobby by a woman who identified herself as the late George's wife, the same room that she had reserved for her husband and Isabelle. From the moment Isabelle met George until the day of his death, she told the woman everything. They lay down as they were talking, and Isabelle suddenly nodded off. Isabelle awoke to discover that nobody was in the room. Isabelle grinned, sensing that things were starting to get better for her mentally. That is where the story ends. The movie ends here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.